Hey guys, it's Tony here at McMahon Alternators again, and taking a little break from the inside construction work at the office, and answering a few emails, wrapping those up this morning, and a little back and forth with a customer through emails about a day or so now. And I thought this was a good chance to kind of go over how 240 is actually greater, or excuse me, 170 is actually greater than 240, and 240 is greater than a 320. It's not what you think. Specifically speaking, I'm talking about small case style alternators. So small case, what we mean by that is the stator that we use, well, that they really all use in the alternator. I believe it's 128 millimeters, and your large case is 138 millimeters. So 10 millimeter difference, but you know, it's in a game of millimeters that matters. So how this all happened was, you know, customer emails. I need the biggest, baddest alternator you make for my vehicle. Most of the times that kind of customer is your car audio guy with a Tahoe Suburban, so it's no big deal there. So this instance was a Corvette. So a Corvette, at least a C6, you know, your 2005, realistically your 97 and up, will use a small case style alternator. And those are really popular on, you know, anything. Any of our small case, when we say small case alternator, what we mean is the internals are pretty much the same on all of them except for the regulator and the way they mount to the vehicle. The literal internals of them are pretty much the same. So what happens when you get that customer that wants the biggest, baddest alternator for their application that uses a small case alternator? Well, the biggest that we rate at is 320 amps on a small case. And realistically, that's what you're going to hours usually in the 340. We try to keep it in the 340s, 330, 340, 350s I've seen every now and then on some things that we know are okay. But that's realistically your limit on that. Realistically is your limit. So the caveat to that is the higher output you go on the small case, the higher total output, the more you're going to lose at the bottom being your idle RPMs. And in some cases, it's not even going to charge at idle. And that's where we get into pulley ratios. So some of these will need to have a good sized crank pulley. The application will need a good sized crank pulley, so it will spin that pulley a little faster so you can get your RPMs going. On the website, we do list applications, small case applications in 320 amps, but we actually R&D and research the vehicle that it goes on. So if that vehicle has a good sized crank pulley, say a 6.85 or 7 inch or even 7.5 inch, then we can do a 320. It'll charge at idle, factory idle, and then it'll make the 320 plus at cruise speed. So what you don't, where that really kills you is if you have a car audio guy that's gonna stop and do the demo thing, their car's gonna sit there and idle. So you need your idle output. So most of the times you'll see that we offer just a 240, a 170, or a 240. For that given application. It doesn't mean we can't do a 320. It's just we're trying to cater to the part number that will benefit the customer the most. You're not going to have that high output, or as high output. Our 240s are usually in the 250, 260 range. So, you're still getting a good punch right there, but you're not losing as much. And a good example of this are some Corvette units that I pulled off the shelf. We actually even note this on the website, on the Corvettes, where you go and Corvette section where it has the 240s, we actually note in the descriptions that you'll need an idle output of, or excuse me, an RPM, vehicle RPM idle of around 800. It's either 800 or 850. I can't remember, but it's 800 something. So that means the stock idle, it's not going to charge. If it does, it's going to be nothing, basically. So we actually note that on the Corvettes. And for the others, it's not really a big issue. We just offer the 170 and a 240 and call it quits. Or we'll just offer a 240 because maybe the factory alternator is like 120 or so. So it doesn't make sense to offer a 170. You know, you're getting a little bump, but not really. So anyway, so let's take this beautiful Corvette unit here. Now this one's chrome, the next one's going to be black. It's no big deal, they're all the same. It's just cosmetics at this point. However, this is a 170. So you'll see, I'll put a picture up if this is blurry, but this is a 170. So this 170 is going to do 144 amps at idle. And it's going to do 196 amps at the cruise, rated cruise speed. So, you know, here you go. You have this one. It's the same pulley that's on the other one, but it's the way it's done inside that makes the difference. The power band, basically. So here, you know, if you have like a stereo or something in your Corvette, this would, I think, would be the better choice because you're going to get way more idle output. And if you need to charge it up, then you just crank it up and go. However, if you have like a race vehicle, then, you know, maybe you don't need the low RPMs, or you can bump the idle up to like a 1200 RPMs or 1000. I know the Supras do that. You know, Hondas, K-Swap stuff, they'll all idle around 1000, 1200 RPMs to keep that thing going. So it's not that big of a deal. So again, you have your 170 that's going to kick ass at idle at 144. So check this out. So here's our black Corvette unit. Exactly the same thing, just black anodized. However, this one's a 240. So again, I'll put that up. It's blurry. So right off the bat, you're losing, what, 34 amps? So this one's going to do 110 at idle. 110. And it's going to do 250 at the top end. So again, you're sacrificing your total output for your low end. In a race car application, this doesn't really matter because if you're idling high, then you're good to go. So again, guys, there's always a right tool for the job. All the time, it's not. Don't get into number chasing. Don't do that. Get the part you need for what you intend to do with it. Now, if you're going to be cruising down the road all the time and never sit and do demo stuff or whatever, hey, let's do a 320 for you, as long as you know that. So when you call in about a week and say, hey, when I pull up to a stoplight, my battery light comes on, or it's not charging at idle. Well, that's exactly why we do this. So in my opinion, I like the 240s. It's just kind of a best balance of everything. I would do a 240 with maybe 2 or 3 batteries, or good lithium battery maybe. The 320s are just really finicky. So anytime you see those small case alternators being advertised, you know, 350 amps or whatever, just remember, not from us, but you'll lose that low RPM output. So yeah, you get the cool output number, but you're the one that's going to have to live with that car, pulling up the stoplights, battery light coming on, maybe, lights dimming, probably, and, you know, just basically not charging. You have to keep the vehicle moving in order to keep the battery charged. So again, what's listed on our website is what 99% of our customers like to purchase. Every now and then you have a few that need a special tweak or something, or you got a guy in like a Corolla that doesn't really care. He just needs the most output, so he has no problem holding his foot on the gas pedal doing a demo, you know, with 10,000 watts in the back. So, you know, there's a special need, but the number chasing thing is just crazy, basically due to social media. People honestly have no idea what 5,000 watts can do inside a vehicle. It's not loud to some people. I know, those are professionals. They're awesome, whatever. But you can get insanely loud at 1,500 to 2,000 watts. It's just what you buy. It's the quality, not quantity, that I always try to push. So, again, guys, if you have a small case application vehicle, you know, it's usually your 4-cylinder vehicles, some 6 cylinders maybe. That's where we're trying to help you. We're trying to keep that safety net there so you don't buy something that's misrepresented and you don't know the full facts on. So, again, 170s, badass idle output, good output cruising. 240s, kind of your best of both worlds. And then your 320s on those, there's some vehicles they work great on, it's no problem, but most of the time you're not going to get your idle output on a small case alternator. So again, guys, I'm just trying to educate what I have found is not out there that I can see or no one talks about. I just try to do these emails and keep them fresh on my brain and spread that knowledge that, you know, maybe this will help someone else that's, you know, oh yeah, you got to have a 350 amp alternator. They're not all the same. So any questions, as always, give me an email or message on Facebook. It's you know, it's just data. It's just data. It's not wrong. It's physics. It's just how it works. So that's really about all I got, guys. It's been good getting out of the office with all the noise and everything. So again, we'll do it again. See you guys.